Round 6 of the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. Here's the lineup. John Bowen, the Shell Sierra on pole, and Dickie Johnson starts alongside. Mark Scaife in the Nissan GTR out of 3. Tony Longhurst in the first of the BMWs from 4, and from 5 at 0.5. Good qualifying effort from Peter Brock. From 6, Alan Jones in the M3. From 7, Glenn Seaton in the Peter Jackson Sierra. From position 8, Colin Bond in the Caltech Sierra. From 9, it's Win Percy in the Holden Commodore. 10, Larry Perkins in the Commodore. 22, the back of the field, Jimmy Richards. They're ready to go racing in round number 6. What a view Jimmy has. Right at the tail of the field. The Shell team, the front row, they're racing, and John Bowen gets out smartly. Johnson picks up a quickie, and right up the inside comes Mark Scaife. Not on the grass today as they head up Bitchapave Hill for the first time. Brilliant start from Win Percy back in the pack, but it's going to be crowded up the front as Johnny Bowen has caught one out and one back from Dick Johnson. There's a little gap opening up on the inside, but Bowen closes it off. Former national champion leads it, Dickie Johnson, but look at the Nissan GTR. All over the two Johnson cars, and a brilliant start from Tony Longhurst in the BMW. They come down to Sutton's for the first time.
Scaife was faced with a wall of Shell cars as he made his way to the top of the hill for the first time. He tried every which way to get around, but he dare not take to the grass after the last episode, so he finds himself in 3rd position from Longhurst, and then Peter Brock with newfound form, car 05 in 5th place, then Seaton, Percy and Jones.
Jones missing a gear coming out of the turn there, and Jimmy Richards also starting to sort them out at this stage. He's already passed about 5 cars as Queensland's Dick Johnson brings them up Bitchapave Hill. Teammate Johnny Bowen, the pole sitter in the 18 Shell Sierra. Mark Scaife is one back behind them, and Richards position 13 after 1 lap. How good was that?
And we're now starting to see 4 cars really tighten up here in a battle, and the other thing is that Win Percy's dropped away from the group slightly, and Jim Richards is getting closer to him. I think within maybe 10-12 laps or so, with Richards in 9th, you're going to see another red, white and blue Nissan amongst this lot.
I think you're right. Down to the late corner under brakes. Scaife trying to get the car straight and get up the inside here of Johnny Bowen. Can he do it? Bowen's going to pull across. No, Scaife will get the run to the turn, so Mark Scaife parts the Shell team. It's Johnson leading, Scaife in 2nd, Bowen in 3rd, right behind them Longhurst. And here's Jimmy Richards starting out of position 22, climbing the hill, going out after them, running 9th on the road at the moment and closing on Win Percy. Tony right on the tail now of Bowen.
Mark Gibbs incidentally coasting, and looks like he's heading back to the pits in the GIO Commodore.
And there is Longhurst through, you just saw it, Longhurst has broken the trail, gets by Johnny Bowen. Can Brock do the same? Is the Nissan race cam. We're riding with Jimmy Richards. And there, one of the Corollas getting the blow by as he moves up on the tail of the Peter Jackson Sierra with Glenn Seaton at the wheel. Looking for 8th spot. And there he goes. Fantastic driving from Richards as they come down to the late corner. Now can Peter Brock get past Johnny Bowen?
Finnegan in terrible trouble over at the top at Dunlop. Rescues himself and gets on with it again.
Here on the inside comes Alan Jones, but Rocky gets out of there pretty smartly. He knows exactly where Jones is. And in fact, getting pretty close to our race leader. There's Alan Jones going through on the inside of Peter Brock. So he's already joined one, and up at the front, Dick Johnson is under a bit of pressure from Mark Scaife. They're heading up Bitchapave Hill, just ahead of this group.
All that dust that you can see is from Bob Pearson's product Commodore. He had a lose previous lap, and the dust still settling itself. Now Scaife's in a position to do something about Johnson. Coming out on the BMW.
To the late turn, tries to pull up on the inside. The two of them race side by side up to the next turn. Wheel to wheel stuff through the turn. Now watch the power of the Nissan. It gets up on the inside. Johnson almost got him pocketed in the slower car. Nothing between that. You saw the race lead taken from the Dunlop race cam. Mark Scaife takes the lead at the top of the hill. Johnson is back on the inside, but look who's there. Tony Longhurst splits the pair of them. The giant killer working away on the inside of Johnson, now on the tail of Mark Scaife as they work the back straight in, without doubt, the closest touring car race of season 91.
53.5 the last time through for this leading bunch.
And well, that looked like it was going to be a challenge for the moment on the inside. Let's see if Scaife can get away. Power comes into play with the four-wheel everything of the Nissan. Heading down to the late turn. Johnson hanging in with them. Now, can Scaife get away from Tony Longhurst? Down to the left-hander at Sutton's, Peter Brock, the 0.5 car. Here comes Richards up on the inside. Now watch the acceleration here. Brock on the outside, Richards down the inside, and the race to the right-hander at the lake. Brock on the brakes, Richards feinting the outside. Watch him cut back on the inside and try and get it straight for the run to the next turn, and that's exactly what he does. Takes Brock here and advances one more shot. Richards from the back of the field, position number 22. Now going out after Dick Johnson. A superb drive this one.